Hello, everyone. Welcome to officially today's gratitude and affirmation practice. We're on a little bit of a tilt because I'm propping you up on my steering wheel and it's tilted right now. So, you know, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, hopefully it'll stay. Anyways, I don't know if you guys are experiencing this. Oh my God, it's moving. Okay, I think we're good. Let me shift. I don't know what is going on with this week, but it just seems so incredibly packed. But if you ask me, hey, what did you really do today? I'm like, I feel like I didn't do much of anything. Okay, so I ended the last video. I told you guys I had a crazy dream last night. I don't know what it is with this. This is really one out of maybe 3 dreams that I remember of having oh, got him. Oh my God, stay. Okay, that might be different, or that might be better. One of 3 dreams that I've had that's been witch themed. Don't know why. But last night's was actually a pretty bad dream. And so I woke up this morning not really feeling like I've got a lot of sleep. But number one gratitude is I went to Target this morning. So I fell asleep on the couch last night. I was so tired. And then eventually at some point I took myself to bed. But grateful I got a little bit of a chance before work to go to Target. They didn't have my mouthwash. They didn't have my deodorant. I was looking, so I actually wanted to try press-on nails, because I'm not a person that I want to go and get my nails done, and I don't want to ruin my nails. Like, I have very, very good nails. These are normal, like, really strong nails, but I just want some color, and I want to not do polish. Like, I was thinking of maybe trying press-ons, but because I have really nice nails, I mean, this is my thumbnail, right? They're bigger than most of the kids. And so I'm like, okay, well, I can't do extra small. I can't do small size. Medium size is, I'm like in between a medium and a large, I've come to find out. And they only had one large size nail, and it was like too long, and it was like squared off. It just like is not something I would get. So all the stuff that I went to Target for, they just didn't have. But anyways, it was nice to get out. And then cue work day. I had to leave for appointments today. So I guess the number one gratitude is grateful that I was able to do that today and all of my appointments lined up perfectly. Number 3, the weather today was just so beautiful. I am so glad it was warm. It was warm out, but it was sunny, and it was so nice. Number 4 for the day. Oh, so the first appointment I went to was my therapy appointment, and I did decide that this was going to be the last one. I don't know. At this point, probably for a bit, like if I feel like I need to, I can schedule another one. But I need to create space in my life. And then I need to continue taking things off the plate. But the other thing is I've come to a point in my life where I do a lot of healing work on my own. And I have other things in my life, or other places that I think I need some more specialized assistance, that if my financials, work out, that I think I want to pursue for a little bit. So we'll see. Like, I haven't even had time to get back to the naturopath. That'll probably be later this year. So, but it was a great session. I don't necessarily feel like it's goodbye because, at some point, like, I've had other therapists in my life that I've gone back to. So I wouldn't say that it's goodbye, but I'm very grateful that I found her. I'm grateful that this set me on my healing journey. I'm grateful I built a foundation, and yeah, like it opened so many doors to me healing my relationship with myself. Number 5, after that session was my Reiki session. And like always, I just forever grateful that I met that person as well, because I do so much work in those sessions, and our human experience is just so amazing. It really is. And I have crazy stuff that happens every single session. This session was no different. But also another separate number 6. Very grateful they got to catch up with her, because I haven't gone to her since January, I think. Which I started seeing her like once a month. So it's been a little bit. Oh gosh, but I have so much to talk to my aunt about. I don't know what we're on. 7? Or is it 6? I think 6 was Reiki. So 7 was, I am so grateful. Well, here's the thing. The traffic in this area is so bad now that what would supposedly take you only 30 minutes now takes like 45 to an hour, depending on traffic. I'm watching my phone just in case it, I thought it was going to slide. And so I have to take if I have 2 doctor's appointments, because a lot of times what I'll do, like if I have a dentist and a doctor, I'll just put them on the same day. But now it's like I basically might as well just take almost the whole day off, because none of my appointments are on the same side of town ever. My dentist is in one town, therapy's in another, Reiki's in another, regular doctors is in, it's just, they're all over the place. So I'm grateful I have medical time, because I think wow, that's really crazy to think about. I spent 2 hours driving today. 2 hours. And without traffic, it'd probably be half that. No wonder I'm tired. Okay, well, grateful I'm not driving. So, I think I already did 7, but we'll do another 7 again. So, 7, I left at noon, didn't do lunch, didn't eat anything, and then I finished my appointments around like 7, like 6 something, like 6:30. And so I drove back, and I told myself, I'm like, I'm gonna get Starbucks. So got Starbucks. Also, who knew that they took all of the cream-based frappes off their menu? When did that happen? I only get one thing at Starbucks, and that is the double chocolate chip frappuccino, which is a non-coffee drink. I do not drink coffee. My body cannot handle coffee. But thankfully, the guy still rung me up, and they're still able to make it. They just have to put something weird into the system. So 7 is super grateful I got that drink, and I needed something, because that's like 6.5 hours, almost 7. Not having anything really to drink, nothing to eat, and then, just stopped in there, used the restroom before I was continuing on home. Well, apparently, so my stepmom messaged me, and she's like, hey, we actually haven't had dinner yet, or are you gonna, come back, are you coming back to eat here? And I was like, yeah. And so, number 8, grateful I got to eat dinner, with my dad and my stepmom. They've been busy this week. There's a whole lot of stuff going on there. And so our paths haven't crossed too much. And so it was really nice to have dinner. And next thing you know, so I come back. It's almost like 7:30 at this point. We were talking 8:30, 9:30, and then it was like 10:15. And all of us are like, it's after 10. We all thought it was 9. I don't know what time is doing right now. So 9 is grateful I had a delicious food, And, we ate outside, got to enjoy the night. And then 10 for the day. I'm grateful. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to go to bed. And we are going to start tomorrow on a totally different page. So, that's where we're at. And tomorrow, I'm going to talk to my aunt. I'm going to talk to John. Podcast probably is not going to happen this week. I still, when you guys get these videos, and I think I'll have to respond back to you guys either tomorrow or Friday. There's just so much that's been going on. I've just been shifting and moving and doing different things. And I had planned to come home and I don't know, do things I needed to do. Podcast episode being one of them. And I didn't anticipate getting home after 7. And then I also didn't anticipate, I thought it just felt like we were out there for an hour. Because I don't usually have my phone on me. Anyways, so those are my gratitudes for the day. It's bedtime, guys. It's bedtime. We take care of ourselves, right? We fill up our cup to then do everything else. So message of this video is going to be, let me share with you something that was in my Reiki session. So if you've been with me for a little bit, you've heard me talk about how to utilize depression as your greatest strength, and how to utilize anxiety as your greatest strength, and how to utilize guilt as your greatest strength. One of the ones I hadn't fully worked through was shame. To find how you can use it as your greatest strength. So to give you a little bit of my journey, this is before I even started going to somatic therapy. This is something I've been working on for, I think it started 5 or 6 years ago. That sounds about right. Probably more 6 years ago. And the first one I worked with was, I want to use anxiety as a strength. I want it to be a superpower, right? And so what I finally came to the understanding of is anxiety shows you, and I had someone actually help me with this one, right? But anxiety shows you where you don't have trust in yourself. It's either you don't have trust in yourself, trust in your toolbox, or you don't have the right tool. It's not in your toolbox. So you either don't trust yourself in making the decisions or something about yourself, and that's something to work on, or the tools that you have, your resources, you don't trust those to do what they need to do, or have built up enough relationship with them, or you have anxiety because you don't have your body knows you don't have the right tool. So then anxiety becomes just a signal. Okay, which of the three is it? Is it something I'm dealing with myself, with my toolbox, or with, and I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, my bad. Or with a tool that I don't have. So then it became depression, right? And with depression, I was like, well, if I've done this with anxiety, and now I use anxiety as a signal, and I see it as very neutral, and it actually is a helper because it's showing me that something needs to be worked on or thought about differently, I'm going to challenge myself to use depression the same way. And so this depression one I came up with on my own. And this was during a time in my life where I really struggled with depression, and depression runs in my mom's side of the family, to the point where people experience clinical depression, which I know I've experienced quite often in my life. I actually don't really get that anymore because I've worked with myself so much about changing the narration and the narrative and the story I have around depression. So what I've realized for depression is a full body no. And the reason why people struggle with depression is because you can't deny yourself at that level. So depression is the signal that I've sent you all these other signals over a very long course of time of like, hey, this is not for you, and you haven't listened. So the only other thing I have in my repertoire, as options, the only other thing I have in my physical body toolbox is to fully shut you down, because you're not listening to any of the other signals. And you might be thinking like, no, it's a mental condition. It's this, it's that. And I'm telling you, for every situation where you're depressed, whatever you're thinking about that is making you depressed, and even more importantly, if it's a generalized state and you're like, I don't know why I'm depressed, you need to start diving into your relationship with yourself more deeply, because there's always a reason. And so if the reason is foggy, vague, hidden, unknown, that means that the what it's actually signaling to you is the first step is like, you don't have a relationship with yourself, or it's not strong enough. You don't have a solid foundation. But if you know the reason of, or like, if you know what it is attached to, and most often it's a situation like work, a person, a relationship, something you don't have, your body is telling you that the thing that, like, how you're thinking about it is not for you, or the situation is not for you. You need to get out of the situation. And a lot of times, or like, you need to not be with a person, or whichever one of those it is. But you're going to say, oh no, it's the situation or the person or my relationship not working right now that's making me depressed. No, it's the opposite. Your body is sending you the signal that, like, you're not in a right place for you. But the reason why we struggle with depression so much is because we ignore that, because actually dealing with depression means that you have to take the one action that you consciously are really trying to avoid: quitting your job, breaking up with a person, or even like with a job. Like, that's a really good one, because it might not be, you could say to yourself, no, I'd quit tomorrow, I don't even want to work there. Okay, but how do you feel about going after jobs? That's what you're probably avoiding. Or even if you're going after other jobs, like there's always something that we're avoiding that's causing the trigger in the situation with depression. And so that was the journey about how to utilize depression as your greatest strength. And ever since I came to that conclusion, anytime that I hit that depression for myself, have since then, drastically different experience. And very quickly I'm like, oh, I'm depressed. What did I miss? What do I not want to do? What situation, place, thing, person do I need to think about differently? Because this is actually not serving me at all. Because I know that about depression now. And then from depression, I believe the next one was guilt. And off the top of my head, I don't remember what guilt was. It might come to me later, but I do remember I have one of my videos out there about guilt, and using guilt as a strength. I think I said something like, again, guilt is another signal, and it's showing you where you actually want to be better for yourself. But we take it as we did something wrong. But if you take it as, oh, this is showing me where I actually care about being better, but, then I can use that to actually grow and improve myself. So then in the Reiki session, it was all about shame. not all of it, but somehow we got to that point with like releasing emotions. And it took me a while in the session, but shame as your superpower. Shame shows you where you are too attached to a rigid concept. So let's walk through this. Something happens and you start to feel shame. Shame is, if you've Googled this before, the difference between certain situations, what do they compare shame to? It might have been guilt, but whatever they were comparing shame to, that comparison was, this is bad, but then shame, what shame communicates is, I'm bad. And so we get stuck in these cycles of shame because something happens and then we go, oh, I'm not worthy, I'm bad, I'm not good enough, I'm not equal, I'm not meeting expectations, like whatever it is, right? And down we go in the shame spiral. But actually, we don't really go anywhere at all. We now kind of become stuck energy. And what I realized, so going back to the prior video, I believe it's matter. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed. And so matter is in motion, right? Like there's a transfer, it just transitions into something else. So that then has to be the case for everything we experience, right? It has to transition at some point. And if all of our other emotions are temporary and can transition, that also means that shame is temporary and can transition. But what does shame actually transition into? Okay, well, let's think about this. So what would be the easiest example to use with you guys? Okay. So you're dating somebody, they break up with you. And most of the time, the story we tell ourselves is at some point, oh, I'm shamed, or I feel shamed, I feel ashamed, I'm not good enough, I wasn't good enough for this person. They left me, whatever. Where the rigidness comes in is shame is an alert that, hey, you're thinking of a concept or a person or a thing or a place, environment too rigidly. And we think that shame means something about us, or we make shame mean something about us, but really shame says you're making something else about you that's not you. And you need to back away from that and disconnect yourself. Is it really true that we're not worthy of people who break up with us? Does that really mean that we're wrong and that we're not worthy of love? No. And so the concept that you're attaching to this person is very, very rigid. This person who I love does not want me, therefore I must not be lovable. That is very not healthy. It's rigid. It doesn't flow. And so if we look at shame as a signal for rigidness, every scenario that I can look back in and where I felt shame, I can definitely see how the concepts that I was attaching to and the concepts and the stories that I was telling myself, it had nowhere to go. It couldn't that's the other thing about this is Shame moves and transforms too. But if it's signaling you to rigidness, can it really transform? No. So then now you have this moment that's actually stuck in time because of the way that we're perceiving it. And so now I'm going to start using it as a signal for rigidness. And then I'm going to say, okay, how do I need to look at this situation differently so the situation itself can transform as well? And this goes back to what I was saying yesterday about what is lost is not really lost. But you have to give yourself the space and the perception so that way it is shifted and it shifts through time. But with shame, if you don't ever work on shame, that's what makes you feel like you're stuck, is the rigidness. Nothing in life is supposed to be rigid. It's all like flowing. When energy in the body becomes stagnant, is it healthy? No, it causes disease and other complications and issues. Same thing in the real world when water becomes stagnant. So I'm very curious, like start looking at shame that way and see if there's rigidness in your perception or like closed-mindedness. So that's the message of the day. Affirmation time, and then I am going to bed. Number 1, as always, I'm divinely guided and supported. I can ask for help whenever I need it with gratitude. I humbly ask for help today. Number 2, sleep is my divine practice. Deep, refreshing, peaceful, healing, soul-refreshing sleep is available to me each and every night. I claim it today and every night. Number 3, I am a person that's worthy of my intentions. I am so unfathomably, incredibly valuable. I'm a person of importance, and I matter to myself and others. Anything externally reflects the never-ending depth of that. Number 4 for the day. I allow myself to rest and just stop and breathe. Number 5. Ooh. All right. Well, I guess I've been sitting in here long enough, but at least you can still see me. Number 5. I'm a person that everything works out for easily, effortlessly, quickly, in my highest favor and for the good of all. I think it's really funny because you can see my phone right there and the steering wheel. Number 6. Beautiful, amazing things are coming my way. I welcome them with open arms, and I lovingly release what is not aligned with total abundance in my life. And thank it with gratitude for all the lessons they teach, but I take the lessons and I leave it quickly. Oh, painlessly. What are we on, 7? Tomorrow's a brand new day. Fresh start. Number 8. I'm under stress. Everything's being worked out for my ultimate good. Number 9. I do not put myself under any obligation, expectation, or situations, either from myself and others. It just flows right off of me and does not attach. And I just lovingly release anything else. And 10 for the day. I see clearly through the day to what changes or decisions I need to make, and everything is aligned with divine timing. That is all for today, guys. Love you all. What are you grateful for? What are you affirming? How are you doing? Let me know in the comments below. Promise you guys I will get back to you this week. Let's try again tomorrow. Brand new day, fresh start. All right, love you guys. Bye.